It's always the same story. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 139 of the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and when it comes to change, what is your perception of changing? Do you feel like you are a different person? Do you feel like the environment is changing? Do you feel like you have new tools to do the things that you wanted to have as a change overall? Well, I'm here to tell you that it's none of those things and that, well, we all stay the same until something happens. Before we start, as usual, if you end up liking this episode, leaving a like and a subscribe really help. It's just one click, but they really make the difference. Today's episode is a reference to the second episode that I've done in the Shower Podcast, where I called it New Year, Same Me. And there I made this hypothesis where I stated that at the end of the day, it's not that we really change. The moment that you say, I'm a new person, I want to start something new. Of course, you're going to still be the same that, 5 minutes before didn't say that phrase. What changes is that even though you are the same person, the difference is that you end up making things, you make things happen. And I would like today to bring you the episode... And I would like today to bring you myself as the example, with the Shower Podcast. I created this to fight procrastination. I created this to fight my urge to wait for the last moment to do things. And the beautiful thing is that it worked, but it didn't. So the reason why it didn't is the episode of yesterday. I knew that throughout the day, I would have had time to record the episode. I had my idea, I knew what I wanted to do, but I, waited because I was like, yeah, but I have space at the end of the day. Turns out, I ended up finishing editing the episode at 11 p.m. And even though, on paper, I made it, it kind of defeats the purpose. My purpose is, of course, to create these episodes, but to do it in a structured way and in a, not by making my days worse. Whereas today, I deliberately, wanted to fight this. And now in a mini break that I have, I'm recording the episode. And in another mini break, I will start editing it. And in the third one, I will be completing, the episode of today and not cramming everything at the end. The thing that fascinates me and what I want to make you also think about your own habits is that compared to myself from the last year, where I was not producing this content, I'm still the same person. I'm just, switching or, adding to my schedule this task. But myself, deep to the core, I'm still the same procrastinating person. I'm still the one that is challenging himself to do those things in an organized way. But I wonder, when is the moment in which you change? Because, this kind of example works until you do 1, 2, 3 things at max. But the moment that you start piling up these things, the time is limited. At some point, something has to change. Because what happens otherwise is that you just end up not making it to the end of the day. You'll have to make sacrifices, you'll have to make compromises, and at the end, some stuff will be left behind. Therefore, I wonder, when is the moment that, something changes in us? And mostly, is it something that we are conscious of? I would like to believe that this is not the case and that we simply get to a point where we optimize so much the processes that we have that we just make time for those things. I generally believe that it's not so much the effort itself of the action. As you can see, and as I told you many times, for me, recording this, it's relatively short, it's 10 minutes. I don't have to, redo it, a million times and take hours of my day. The problem is that all the things that roam around it end up stacking up this time, just thinking about the thumbnail, thinking about the episode, thinking about this, thinking about that. And there are days where really, I think I managed in 30 minutes to record and publish. Everything was streamlined. I had everything ready. it was no issue. There are days where it takes me hours because I might not be sure on the title, I might not be sure on the topic, I might not be sure on the hook at the start. And overall, these things pile up. And what usually happens in those days is that I end up reaching the end of the day where, as I said also in other episodes, I don't have so much to do, or at least I can focus on this, and therefore, close it. So all of this to say that you shouldn't be discouraged by the fact that you look yourself in the mirror and you kind of see the same person. Because that's the whole point. It's not so much about changing, I don't think you can make out of somebody that, I don't know, is a late night sleeper, somebody that has to wake up in the morning and change his whole routine because it is just better. You should fit into your own box and you should work with your advantages. I know that down the line, I will be the person that, if it's not required, will still wait for the last minute to do things. It's just who I am. The thing that I want is not to change radically. Is that in days where I can, in the moments that I'm able to recognize the pattern, to say, hey, look, you have other things to do. And this has happened, the days in which I have stuff to do and I cannot make this compromise. I cannot just stack this task on top of the others. I find time. I need to do that. Therefore, being forced, again, I record in the morning, I edit when I can. And in that case, it's being done in a forceful way because I have no other option. Whereas the desired outcome, and again, it's what I'm trying to do right now, is to, even if you're not forced, still use the time accordingly because there is only to benefit from that. Of course, the only thing that you, let's say, let loose is your instinct of just procrastinating and leaving stuff behind. But, we have to combat that. It's always a pulling game between what you want to do and what you feel like doing. So, yeah. As I said, today's episode was a bit more introspective, and I felt like really, it was not really a revelation, but I realized that it's something that you should just be able to live with and accept that it takes time. It takes time, and we are not just gonna wake up one morning and be different. It's just something that evolves in the shadows, and at some point you're like, look at that. You look behind and you are just surprised of what you did. Having said that, that was all for the episode of today. Thank you very much for listening. Let me know if you also struggle with those things. It's always a pleasure to hear your comments. And what else? Stay consistent, stay resilient, and see you tomorrow.